Having teased the trailer reveal last week, Warner Brothers have now released the trailer for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, and just before I get into this, I'm really not impressed. Unfortunately, over the last few years, I feel like my interest in the Harry Potter brand has been waning, if I'm honest. I am excited for the Hogwarts Legacy game. I feel like that would be a good return to what made the Harry Potter franchise interesting, but that's going to be a video game, that's not a movie. And seeing the Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald a few years ago, I've just kind of lost interest in the franchise. The first film, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, was okay. Crimes of Grindelwald, I do feel, could have been summed up in a single sentence in the first film. The big reveal that Credence is actually Aurelius Dumbledore, potentially. I know there's some arguments about that, but we'll see what happens. But that film really didn't do it for me. And I was excited to hear that Mads Mikkelsen had been cast as Grindelwald. I did actually like Johnny Depp as Grindelwald in those first two movies, although in the first film he only had a brief cameo. He was only in it for like 40 seconds. And it is a shame that, he couldn't continue the role. Whatever Warner Brothers said, that's just how it is. In a way, I'm kind of annoyed that they didn't just go with Mads Mikkelsen in the first place. I think he's probably better for the role, but I will say I did like Johnny Depp in the role from what we saw. And, this trailer is just showing us a bit more of the nostalgia of Harry Potter. I do feel like this franchise has turned into a bit of a mess just because they were going to do Fantastic Beasts movie, and the first film was definitely that. And then they kind of leaned into, well, we want to do a Dumbledore prequel. And if they wanted to do that, they should have just done it. I don't think they should do it on the back of Fantastic Beasts. This is messing up the continuity to some extent. We've already seen that in the second film, that McGonagall was teaching at the school at a time she probably wasn't even born yet, which makes no sense, and they'll probably have to write in something to do with time turners in some way. And I think Rowling, who has written the screenplay for this, has sort of backed herself into a corner. As I said, the trailer is showing a lot more of Hogwarts, and that's kind of what we want to see more of. If you loved the first 8 Harry Potter movies, the castle is magical to you, especially, growing up as a child. Watching Harry Potter movies, experiencing the books, Hogwarts was such a special place to so many people. And they're kind of going for the nostalgia grab, having this play such a big part in probably the film, at least in the trailer, as you can see. But I don't feel like that's necessary. This isn't the story they wanted to tell. And I just feel like, this franchise is a big mess, and this trailer does highlight that to me. And they've got Aberforth in this trailer, showing Hogsmeade. I don't know who is playing the role, and to be honest, I don't really care. And I know this is a bit of a downer of a video, but I'm just being honest about my opinions of this trailer. We do get to see Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald, and I was expecting something a lot different. He looks exactly like Mads Mikkelsen. He doesn't resemble how Grindelwald looked in the first 2 movies at all. I thought at least they would give him a similar haircut. I can't really tell in the trailer if he's got the sort of discoloured eye which Grindelwald has. I've only been through it a couple of times, and it doesn't seem that obvious if he does. But maybe that's a way they're going to explain why the character looks so different. It's not ideal that Johnny Depp left the project and a new actor's come in. I feel like they can just ignore it and continue, but I did feel like he should have resembled him in some way, unless they're going to have a throwaway line about why he looks different. Maybe he's in disguise. And then showing in this trailer that Jacob has been given a wand, kind of makes no sense to the franchise. He is a Muggle, and, why would he have a wand? Does he have any magic powers? Maybe he does. He was a squib or something, I don't know. And the trailer's going for some humour at the end. He's showing off his wand to the other students, and, why is he at Hogwarts anyway? Muggles can't see Hogwarts apparently in the canon of the story, and yet he's walking the halls. Maybe there's some spell you can cast on a Muggle to make them see it. Maybe that'll be explained. Maybe not. Wouldn't surprise me if it isn't explained, because this is such a thrown together film. You know, there's a lot better things they could be doing with the Harry Potter franchise, in my opinion, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Also, noticeably in the trailer, they're kind of leaning back more into the beasts of it. You know, it was called Fantastic Beasts, and, you know, we want to see more of these magical creatures, especially after the first film. I don't think the second film, you know, there were these new creatures introduced, but I don't feel like that was the main focus. And to be honest, I'm not sure this is going to be the focus of this film either. It's all about Dumbledore. This is just a Dumbledore prequel under the guise of this Fantastic Beasts spin-off brand, which I think is a huge mistake. I've said it already in this video, but if they wanted to make a Dumbledore prequel series about his relationship with Grindlewald, they should have done that from the outset, but they've just like tied it on to the first Fantastic Beasts movie, you know, name drop Dumbledore in it, which is kind of cool, you know, so we know that he exists in this universe, but they're making him be a big part of the franchise when in the original canon of the series, which I don't really know too much about, would they have been crossing over? Would Newt Scamander be that involved in helping Dumbledore take down Grindelwald? Probably not. And I don't think that was the intention of J.K. Rowling when she wrote the books, or when she wrote the line about how Dumbledore defeated this dark wizard Grindelwald back in 1945 in Berlin. Though, interestingly, we see in the trailer there's some of it set in China, it looks like, or somewhere in Asia. You know, this whole thing of that they're jumping around the world, showing more of the magic world in this universe. I feel like the first movie did this the best with the Magic Society in New York, the American equivalent of the Ministry of Magic. And, you know, we got to see like these trolls or goblin gangsters. I think Ron Perlman played a troll goblin sort of creature in the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and, you know, it was in the vein of like a 1920s Al Capone gangster, which I thought was quite a cool concept, but yet again nothing was done with this. And in the trailer we get to see Aurelius Dumbledore again. You know, he looks a bit different. Ezra Miller is returning to the role. It's another role that, you know, I don't think this was her J.K. Rowling's intention to, like, create this character, be linking him to Dumbledore in any way. It just makes no sense to me. And at the end of the last film, you see him summon the Phoenix Forks, and, you know, it's saying that he's actually the sibling, an unknown sibling of the Dumbledore family. Which, again, you know, there's probably plenty of videos on this, but that makes no sense at all. And I don't know if this is just like a soft reboot in some way of the Harry Potter franchise. I feel like, you know, if you've created this world which people love, that J.K. Rowling has done, and I think, you know, she says all this stuff on Pottermore and she writes these articles, you think she'd be better at keeping the continuity together. And I don't know how they're going to sort of fix this continuity, because I really think they have screwed it up currently. And at the moment, I'm not too sure about where this franchise is going. I think it was originally supposed to be 5 movies, and then it was sort of going to be a trilogy, and now I don't know if it's still going to be 5 movies or 4 movies, but depending on this film, you know, I kind of want them to wrap it up a bit quicker. You know, I do want to see Dumbledore versus Grindelwald in Berlin. That would be sort of where the franchise is going. And I'm not sure they needed all this, you know, this 20-year period of telling this story. It just doesn't work for me. They could have gone in a bit earlier, gone in a few years running up to those events in a trilogy, for example. But as I said, I guarantee that the original plan wasn't to bring Dumbledore into the Fantastic Beasts movies, or at least have him be such a major player. It just makes no sense, and they should have done that separately if they wanted to do it. In regards to other things they could do with the Harry Potter franchise, obviously Warner Brothers owns Harry Potter and they own HBO Max, People are calling out for a HBO Max series. We could see, you know, a few of the things I'd like to see is a Marauders prequel. We'd like to see a story about the founding of Hogwarts with the founding house members, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin. I think that could be really interesting. There's name-dropped lots of other schools around the world, the magical world. Ilvermorny in the USA, we could get a series about that. There's probably a lot of other things we could do. As I said, I name-dropped the Ron Perlman's character in the first movie. You know, that world was interesting to me, and they could do a lot more of that. We could see a lot more of these other creatures, more to do with dragons, more to do with goblins fighting wizards. Even see a prequel with the original Order of the Phoenix. I think people would want to see that. And yet, we've not got that, and we're getting this movie, which I feel isn't going to work, and to be honest, I'm not too interested in. I will give it a shot, if depending on how it reviews, because I am a big fan of Mads Mikkelsen. But, you know, I'm not a fan of the second movie. I think the first movie's fine, but it's not as good as any of the other Harry Potter movies. I think I like all of those movies. And then if I was to rank them, you know, all of the two Fantastic Beasts movies are going to be at the bottom of the list. That's just how I feel. And to be honest, I think like most people are going to feel that way. So that's it for my video about the trailer. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about this trailer. If you're going to see it, if you're excited, is this going to sort of reinvigorate your interest in the Harry Potter series in some way? And if I'm honest, I doubt it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to click the bell icon to receive notifications for all of my videos. Thanks for tuning in.